This guy's apparently been DMing Elon Musk, so he did it.
I am not watching an hour-long Quinn video. I will not be watching that.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back.
But I will watch an 18-minute video. Holy shit, you go to options, the game unpauses? What? That's a scam. All right, there's a scam.
Back to the channel, and today we have quite the unusual video for you guys, and I know a lot of you probably believe that the title is clickbait considering the size of my channel, but yes, we will be addressing all of the recent drama regarding Quinn69's video on Elon Musk piloting his PoE2 account with actual answers from Elon Musk himself. Now, before we get started, I did want to go ahead and mention a couple things. I have no plans on plugging anything whatsoever on this video, and I am going to be uploading this video in its entirety without monetization or any ads whatsoever. And to any fellow content creator out there, both small and large, feel free to take this video in its entirety and upload it to your channel, and you do not have to give me credit whatsoever for it.
Hey, you heard that, guys. This is going on my YouTube.
I am not making this video to gain a bunch of subscribers or to have a bunch of people react to it. I am just simply trying to bring clarity to a situation that I actually know about.
Okay, is this legit? How does this guy actually have Elon's DMs?
And I do know that the internet will be the internet and people will react to the video. However, if you subscribe to my channel or you follow me after I make this video, do not think that I am a drama channel that gets into a bunch of nonsense. I typically make build guides and different guides for the video games I play, the main one being Diablo 4 right now. But I am having a blast playing PoE2 as
Diablo
well, and I
4
will probably
guides.
be making content for that game in the near future. Lastly, in an attempt to be completely honest and forthcoming with you guys, I personally do like Elon Musk and I do consider him a friend. And with that being said, and I would do this...
This guy's friends of Elon. He's friends of Elon, guys.
Who I consider a friend. I did get his permission before making this video, and I think that's pretty obvious, as there's no way that I would have been able to go through a list of questions with him had he not known in the first place. I also want to say that this video is not to be supportive of those players who choose to RMT or pilot their accounts. And in fact, I personally choose to play hardcore in Diablo 4 and hardcore solo self-found almost exclusively in PoE2. However,
what does that have to do with piloting accounts and buying stuff? You play hardcore or softcore with people. Did he pay to be his friend? Bro, look at this guy. He's got a coconut behind him. He didn't pay Elon Musk to be Elon's friend. Elon might have paid this guy, but that's a weird guy to pay money for. What's the deal here?
This is just my personal opinion. I honestly do not feel like it's that big of a deal, as I really just enjoy playing video games, and it is not my job to dictate how someone else chooses to engage with the video games that...
But like, it is our job to fact check people who are going to competitively play a game and then lie about it, about the accomplishments in it, right? Right. If Elon wanted to pay his intern to play his account for him so he can hop on and he can just be a max level character, who the hell cares? Why are we?
Playing. But I will say
but that's
that
not what
if
happened.
You have strong feelings.
I won't let that go.
To engage in those practices.
This is the video I watched.
Yeah, but if a game is really like super hard, it kind of forces you to
what section of YouTube am I in right now? It's just blacked out. What am I in right
concentrate.
now?
I have a recording in DMs with Elon Musk that might shed some light in the situation.
There's no way he played that account. Like, I'm sorry. I think he bought the account or somebody
Comments
played
are turned
it for
off.
him.
Bro,
100
am I legally allowed to watch this?
fucking percent.
I just want you guys to understand, this is one of the highest level hardcore characters in the game. He would have played thousands of maps at this point.
Just running past chaos orbs. He just ran past the chaos orb.
My staff is only level 62, so I haven't been able to find a better staff.
Okay, dude.
At least a level 75 jacket.
Jacket? I guess it's a jacket. I've just never heard anyone call a body.
All right, I'm back to this video. Hold on.
I completely understand, and your opinion is just as valid as mine is. So
It's not. No, my opinion is superior.
Let's go ahead and get right.
Elon
into
is
the video.
trying to
So as you
pass
guys can
off
see here,
being a
we over here on
competitive
my
gamer.
private messages inside of X, and the only person you see up here is Elon Musk. Now, that is not because that is the only person I talk to. I just simply closed out the other message threads to give privacy to those people who I do talk to, as this video does not have anything to do with them, and I do not have.
So he's not like actually friends of Elon. He just DM'd Elon out of the blue, and Elon happened to respond to him, and now he considers himself a friend to Elon. Is that what's happening here? Is that the situation?
Have their express permission to have them in it. Now, for those of you who may be skeptical and think that I could be faking this entire thing, I will go ahead and click on his name here. And as you can see, this is the real Elon Musk. He follows me, and he has 213 million followers.
Hey, they follow each other.
This is either true,
they're friends.
This is the real Elon Musk, or I am part of the most elaborate practical joke that anyone has ever been a part of. However, I don't think this video is going to be that interesting. So let's go ahead and go back. And again, Elon Musk. So as you can see here, guys, I opened up regarding PoE 2 and to a lesser degree Diablo 4, because those are the two things that were in question. And I'm just going to go down the thread. And I'm going to try not to edit this video too much. However, I do still suck at talking to a camera in a room all by myself. So anyway, as you guys can see, Elon did go ahead and link his max roll leaderboard from Season 2 in Diablo 4, and this was regarding the Abattoir of Zur, and he did manage to get to rank 20 in the world, which was no easy task, believe me, and that is not because Diablo 4 is a difficult game, because it's not. However, when you do start trying to push into high-tier pits, or in this case in the Abattoir of Zur, and you are racing other content creators who are actually trying to compete for those top spots, it actually does create its own level of difficulty for the game. And in fact, I would say that's really where the only difficulty is in Diablo 4, is the difficulty that is created by other players on unofficial leaderboards who are racing for those #1 spots.
God.
So it is actually quite
I love
difficult to reach
ARPGs.
that. And in my opinion, and I know there will be plenty of people who may not like this, but Elon Musk is actually a pretty good gamer. And he does play quite a lot more than what you probably think. However, that is not what this video is about. So moving on to my first question, I asked him quite directly. Have you level boosted, had someone else play your accounts, and or purchased gear / resources for PoE 2 and Diablo 4?
Elon responds, I've been on multiple streams of Rob and
To which then he answered 100, which means, of course, yes. And as you can see here, he also stated, I've also been on multiple streams with both Rob and Ace. Both of those players are notable Diablo 4 players and content creators. And this is also true. He definitely has. And then he goes further and expands on that, and he says, but when I post a video of a game or am streaming, that's 100% me, which of course it is 100% him playing that account. And
no one's questioning that part.
Provide some insight as to
literally no one's questioning was that PoE 2 gameplay Elon Musk or not. That we all knew that was him playing.
He chooses to RMT and have people pilot his account sometimes. And that is because it is impossible to beat the players in Asia if you don't, as they do. Now, this is absolutely true for Diablo 4, and I could be wrong, but it is probably the case to some degree in Path of Exile 2.
First off, what do you even do with this? What do you even do with this statement? I feel like that statement's correct for Diablo 4. And even like Diablo 3 Great Over Person. Because the ARPGs systematically are a game about building the best builds, which involve understanding the game systems and the math the best. But that is widespread shared knowledge. So if you can't do that, you can still compete with someone who can. The next thing is just being efficient with your time or having the most time when the game is infinite grind stuff. Now, PoE doesn't just do infinite grinds. They do races to clear the boss first. So in PoE, he's 100% correct. In D4, yeah, probably D4 and D3. And probably, honestly, if you're looking at like the first to max level in PoE right now, probably also account sharing going on. For hardcore, at least. But no one does that. No one cares about that in PoE. It's literally race to clear the content. And that is live streamed on Twitch 24/7, legitly.
And even Path of Exile 1, that there are plenty of players, and in fact, some of those players might be at the top
Diablo,
of those ladders every season.
I mean, the highest ranked players in D3 on Grid Rifts were always bots, people botting, right? Or people account sharing. That's always been a thing in D3 because it's always been unlimited grind. So yeah, you end up in that boat. But PoE doesn't have that. They have a cap to levels. To be fair, what is that? What was the delve? Was it delves? It was delves, right? In PoE 1. That's probably botted and account shared. But no one really cared about that. Everyone cares about the race to full clear the content, this full clear it on hardcore SSF. And Ben always wins that, and Ben always streams that. It's always just him. Not only is he the most efficient time-wise, not only does he have the tactic put into it, he's also skilled enough to do it. But on top of that, he's also one of the best crafters in the game. So people end up copying off him versus vice versa. You can't be the first one to clear hardcore SSF for the season without being one of the better theory crafters in the game. Because you can't just copy off someone's build, right? Quinn mentioned there was a D3 dude who bought his Paragon so high that he could just make a 2 on any character, get a type of leaderboards. Yeah, I mean, that's what happens in D4, D3. Elon's not wrong about this for competing on Diablo 4 ladders. He's still wrong about trying to act like it's something that he should just take credit for. He's also wrong in the fact that he's like bragging that he did all the hard work of clearing a high level AZ because that's the hard part of Diablo 4. Nah, man, the hard part of Diablo 4 is theory crafting, which is a lamau, and putting the time in to efficiently grind the power. And he's just paying out both those things. He's just playing out both those things, right? So that's the only hard part about RPGs, right? PoE, yeah, some more tougher bosses. Maybe the pinnacle bosses, I haven't done them, could be argued at that point. But in Diablo 4, it's literally theory crafting, which you just copy and paste someone else doing it, and then time investment, which he's just not doing. He's paying someone else. The act of just full clearing a high level pit is pressing 2 buttons on repeat. And same in PoE 2, outside of Arbiter, which I think Elon did on stream and failed miserably, if I remember correctly and heard correctly. Could be wrong about that, I don't know. What is this? Merchant, do you not know what's going on here? Have you been out of the loop, Merchant?
Who do in fact RMT, as well as have people pilot their accounts when they are doing something else. Now,
this is probably pretty rampant in PoE 1 and PoE 2 softcore as well, right? When you get past the race and you get into like XP farming, delve pushing, but people don't care about that stuff. So forever ago, Elon started talking about him being like one of the highest ranked Diablo 4 players. He was rank 1 Druid on leaderboards. He was the first to clear a max level pit on Druid. He was one of the only ones to clear the Azor event on Druid. I always had the impression that that man was paying for an intern to push his accounts. I didn't really care. PoE 2 comes around. He has a top 10 hardcore PoE 2 character that he claims is his. And then he goes live streaming his gameplay on that character. And he just proceeds to baffle around like a complete idiot who does not know what's going on in PoE, because he doesn't know what's going on in PoE, but he claims that's his character and he's one of the highest ranked characters in the game on it. And that's where we're at for like a week now, is people calling him out, because unlike in Diablo, where like you watch his gameplay in Diablo and you could go, well, maybe that is Elon the whole way. In PoE, it was painfully obvious this man doesn't know what's going on, right? Because it's PoE.
Now, this could be something that both I and Elon are mistaken on with regards to PoE 2, and there may not be as much rampant RMT and piloting going on in Path of Exile as there is in Diablo 4. Because trust me, there is a ton of it happening in Diablo 4. Almost every single season, there are multiple bugs and multiple issues with duplication of items, and
again, I think PoE also has issues. It's just PoE players look at the race. They don't play the same grind as D4 does, which is why I appreciate PoE more.
that stuff hits the market and players either buy it for real money or they use their resources they earn in the game.
There's currently a mirror dupe.
Either way, there are tons of items that have been duplicated, and there is a ton of people who are RMTing in Diablo 4 every single season. And I also want to say that this is
I gotta say though, how pathetic do you have to be to just skip out on the build crafting and the gear progression part of ARPGs? Elon is not ironically playing Diablo for the gameplay. He plays Diablo 4 exclusively for the gameplay. Gulp? Nah. You got two people who play, right? People who play for progression, people who play for build crafting, people who play for both. No one plays RPGs for the freaking gameplay, dude. Like, PoE 2 is the first one that has actual gameplay. It's crazy. Elon, not ironically, is playing Diablo 4 exclusively for the gameplay.
in no way excusing the behavior. However, like I said at the beginning of the video, it is not something that I
play any other game
as to how I enjoy a game, so it doesn't really bother me to any significant degree. So to answer the burning question, does Elon Musk RMT? Does he have someone pilot his account? Absolutely he does, and he openly admits to it.
A large interest in this genre is the gameplay. I think appropriately geared boss fights are really fun in his games. You talking about PoE 2 though, right? What if an RPG game has good boss fights?
And in fact, I will give you my own personal anecdotal experience with this. So one of the first times I actually spoke with Elon while playing D4.
Okay, so there's one boss and one other ARPG. And that's why you like the whole genre? I think if you're appropriately geared, it makes the boss fights not as fun. You heard Vulcan has good... Yeah, I'm sure Vulcan's great,
asked me to help him possibly tweak his build a little bit for a previous season to help him push into a higher pit tier. And while we were talking, I remarked about how crazy his gear was at the time, to which he himself immediately told me that he had purchased some of that gear. And I can honestly say, with me at least, that he has been openly honest about RMTing in Diablo 4 as well as PoE 2. Now again, this is not condoning the practice. I am just simply trying to bring some clarity to the situation. There are a lot of assumptions that Elon had plans or was going to take credit for all of these things and that he was intentionally deceiving people.
He was.
In my opinion, that's just simply not the case. And from my own personal experience, that's just simply not the case.
I'm surprised he could talk with the dick so far down his mouth.
I'm just simply giving you my own personal experience as well as his open admission to RMTing as well as piloting his account in PoE 2 and to a lesser degree in Diablo 4. Now moving on to the second question I asked Elon, I said regarding PoE 2, was it your intention to take full credit for leveling your hardcore character? To which he then replied, no, never claimed that, and the top accounts in Diablo or PoE require multiple people playing the account to win a leveling race. Now, I believe I've already shared my opinion as to how
leveling races, guys. He thinks that you have to pay and pilot the account to win leveling races. Now, that's just factually incorrect. I don't know how PoE 2 is right now. I'm assuming max level and softcore has been hit, right? And it was hit probably relatively fast by people who streamed the whole process a week ago. Okay, maybe in PoE 2 right now you have to. So no 1/100 on SSF right now. Maybe in PoE 2, but PoE 1 was not the case. Okay, so you have to race right now in PoE 2? Okay. That's okay.
How I feel about the second portion of his answer here with my response to the first question. However, just to reiterate, it is my opinion that there are plenty of players who are probably participating in RMT as well as piloting practices on the PoE 2 ladders on any given league. However, that is not to condone those practices, and whether it is his intention to do so or not, he will inevitably displace another player who may not be participating in those practices just by him boosting his account. Now, again, I personally do not have strong feelings towards this because it does not impact how much I enjoy playing a game or the way I choose to engage with a game. However, if you do have those feelings, that is perfectly fine, and I'm not trying to downplay the situation whatsoever. And then to the first part of his response, again, my own anecdotal experience, he's never really lied whatsoever about what he does in the video games he chooses to enjoy. I don't believe he would ever lie if directly asked about it.
Dude, you can tell Elon's been in court multiple times. Like, it's true. He never claimed it, like, straight up 100% officially, but he never made it seem that wasn't the assumption.
As evidenced by being directly asked about it, and he openly admits to RMTing as well as piloting. And I do not believe in any of his streams that he ever claimed that he leveled his characters entirely by himself.
Someone get his ex-wife on the phone.
It's not really a topic you would naturally fall into when you're streaming. It's not like you're going to start up a stream and be like, hey guys, I RMT and I piloted this account to get here, but now that we've gotten out of the way, let's go ahead and get on with the stream. Just really wouldn't do that. So it's kind of understandable that topic would never come up in the...
Right, because anyone who's going to sit there and brag about being a competitive video game isn't going to RNT or pilot their accounts or just hide the hell out of it because they know it's cheating, right?
First place.
No one's going to casually do those things together.
When I said regarding the Asmon drama, was it just a misunderstanding of what an editor is in relation to content creation?
Yes.
And the reason why I asked this question is simply because they come from two different generations. And when Elon probably thinks editor, he understands it as someone who may edit a magazine or edit a newspaper, and they have full control as to what goes into that subject matter. But in Asmon's case, an editor is just someone who edits out his content and uploads it to his channel, and they both benefit from that. And because Asmongold is such a massive content creator, he really saves a lot of time in not having to edit out his content, which means he can upload more content.
We're not even halfway through this DM. I just noticed.
And also provide jobs to people who may need them. So it's beneficial for everybody around. And his response to that was Asmon seemed to require permission from others to stream on X, suggesting he doesn't control his own destiny. Whether those are the editors or others, I don't know. I think it's just simply a misunderstanding, as Elon is not familiar with content creation, because why would he be? He does a million other things. But I have actually explained this to him in previous messages back and forth when this first happened, that Asmon just has an editor, as in someone who just edits his content, and that he maintains full control over the creative side of his channels. And ultimately, I feel like this was a pretty unfortunate interaction. I actually asked Elon back in November of last year if he had ever reached out to Asmongold to see if he wanted to stream on X, because Asmongold is a big free speech advocate. I am a big free speech advocate, and Elon is a big free speech advocate. And I think that Elon Musk has a great platform for streaming, albeit not the best platform for streaming, but it is getting better. And I think having someone like Asmongold streaming on X would be a massive benefit to the platform. So I really hope that fences get mended. And you'll see here in my next question, which these started to become much more lighthearted questions, I said, would you be willing to
It was not hard to begin with.
A live stream of a rocket launch at SpaceX? Now, I just so happened to catch the clip of Asmon stating that he would love to have a live stream where he could live stream a rocket.
Bro, I don't need to hear
shooter with bots, which from Elon's perspective, I can definitely understand why he was a very good answer, to which I respond with a bit of a joke. And then he goes on to say that he's preparing for the feel that way. But from Quinn's perspective, he's very protective over PoE as well as PoE 2. And I'm sure he was much more character died today.
Are we past the Asmon stuff?
Unfortunate, to a mixture of lag itself not a difficult game. However, when you add the competitiveness
getting
between
past
fellow
this stuff.
players, that's where the difficulty comes through. It's much in the same way when you're playing something like a first-person shooter, where if you were to play the first-person shooter with bots, super easy. But it's when you add the human element and the competitiveness between fellow players, and that's where the difficulty starts to grow. So I just want to say that it is actually quite difficult to achieve a sub 2-minute run. However, overall, Diablo 4, super easy game.
Not with his gear,
bud.
bud.
Argue
not with his gear.
And then he goes on to talk about his Quake experience here, and it has been confirmed that he was actually quite the good Quake player back in the day. And in my opinion, he's still a really good video game player. Maybe not as sharp as he used to be, but
Elon just throws out his Quake. Dude, that
Definitely
sounds like
above
Dr.
average.
Disrespect, the 2-time blockbuster champ.
And then on to my last question, I asked him, would you be willing to do a hardcore duo live stream playing PoE 2 with Quinn? And then we get off on a bit of a tangent here. He continues to talk about his Quake experience. Then we get on to his hardcore character dying, which also my hardcore character died today as well, which was pretty unfortunate, to a mixture of lag as well as bird vomit, which is never a good combination. And then finally back down here, I asked, so would you
have
be
to
willing
ask
to
him
do
again.
a live stream with Quinn in hardcore trade league, new characters, fresh gear? And he says that will boost his stream viewership to crazy levels, to which I say, but it would be fun, and he's a cool guy. And he asked, why should I reward those who trash me? Which from Elon's perspective, I can definitely understand why he would feel that way, but from Quinn's perspective, he's very
Brother dropped a WWJD onto Elon Musk.
protective over PoE as well as PoE 2, and I'm sure he was much more disappointed to find out that Elon was
And it's
RNGing
working.
as well as piloting, because those activities are looked down upon and frowned upon in the PoE community, and to a lesser degree Diablo 4.
I hope GGG just bans his account.
And I can completely understand his perspective on the matter, but then I say, and this goes for Quinn as well, because sometimes it's all a misunderstanding and forgiveness is freedom. What would Jesus do? And obviously, Jesus would forgive. So I really hope, Quinn, if you do watch this video and you do react to it, that you guys can build a bridge and get over it. Because I think it would be a really cool stream to see you and Elon playing together, blasting through hardcore.
Bro, that would
And
be
maybe
cool.
you can
I'd
even
watch
educate
it.
him on some PoE 2 stuff and show him the ropes. Because honestly, I think it would be a good time for both of you, and it would be one heck of a stream to watch. And
Why
I know
is Jesus
I myself
suddenly in
would
here?
be tuning
It wasn't
in.
sudden,
And then
Cook.
going
He was
down here,
always
I asked
here.
a silly question, which was completely pointless, and then he responds with a very good answer, to which I respond with a bit of a joke. And then he goes on to say that he's preparing for the presidential transition. So let's play for him in the next few days. So there you have it, guys.
Bro, he's just gonna. He spends 30 minutes talking about Elon and Asmongold having a rocket space stream, but he won't read this part out loud to us. Would you be willing to extend the olive branch and, as a gesture of good faith, apologize to the PoE community for any misunderstanding that might have been caused by this whole situation? What would I be apologizing for to the PoE community for? That's all you guys say, guys. That's all you guys say.